Avenue in Pasadena. The town hall will once again be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580 from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, November 6th. But you're invited to join us in person for this urgent and necessary community conversation. The theme for this Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire Town Hall is Understanding the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Fund. The primary focus of this gathering is to inform residents about Southern California Edison's newly launched Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program and provide clarity on eligibility and the claims process. There are plenty of questions to be asked, and only KBLA Talk 1580 has the right moderators to ask the tough questions, the right stakeholders and community activists to share their insights, and we have confirmed the participation of corporate executives from Southern California Edison to answer our queries. So be sure to join us at Victory Bible Church in Pasadena, 1497 North Hill Avenue on Thursday, November 6th. The event is free and open to the public, but registration is required at kbla1580.com. That's kbla1580.com. Light refreshments will be served immediately following the live town hall. This KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Rising Town Hall is brought to you by the Black Freedom Fund.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too uncertain. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning, Jambo Hotep. Hola. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. The show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day is giving thanks to God, asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Time to stir the pot. It is election eve. We got so much to talk about. And today should be right on point for a Mindful Monday. One thing, Sahara Ali is vacationing with her husband, so we will not be getting her Mindful Monday today, but me, Miles, who knows, maybe even LaMikia will do our best to get you grounded for the week ahead. So typically on a Monday, hour one, we look local, left coast. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person of interest, hot topic. Well, we're kind of on that. Akili will be joining us hour three. He's with Black Lives Matter, but he's also worked on many a campaign, something like 7 of them. And so he'll center what's happening with this redistricting and this election tomorrow on a national level. And the second hour of the show will be joined by Friday Jones, who is pushing for a no vote on Prop 50, and she'll give her perspective on why she is dead set against this measure, which is the only thing on the ballot, okay? And then right now, guess what? Guess who? She's here live in studio, which is a great way to start our week. She's done work in the public, private, and non-profit sectors, education and economic justice, public health, environmental justice, child welfare, and juvenile justice. She's got over 2 decades of experience in leadership development, strategic planning, design thinking, grassroots community organizing, youth engagement, policy advocacy, and more. LaMikia Castillo, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique.
Great to see you.
Great to be here. Great to see you.
Yeah, we're starting off our week on a good note. And of course, everybody's talking about the LA Dodgers.
Yes, we are.
Champions once again.
2-time. First time in ever? No, first time in
And
a
I think
long
it's
time.
like 20 years or something. It's back to back, back to back. So that's a big deal. And the parade apparently is today.
Yes, my sister's a big Dodgers fan, and she was excited to tell me that the parade was today. I live close enough that I was like, okay, well, I better hunker down.
Yeah, if you're not going to the parade, it's a good day to see if you can work remotely because those parades, and no shade, I'm always happy when LA is happy, and LA is hella happy right now. But it's just not a good traffic scenario with the parades. It's just, I don't know how you do a parade in a giant city and have good logistics.
Yeah, especially a giant city like Los Angeles where we already have major traffic.
Yeah, well, we have issues. But so, yeah, I'm happy to see the Dodgers win. The comeback story was great. I can't believe how many they not like us memes I got in my DMs. As if it was Kendrick defeating Drake instead of LA defeating Toronto.
Right. I think that everybody in LA saw it as Kendrick defeating Drake again versus LA defeating Toronto.
When are we going to leave that man alone?
I don't know.
Like, okay.
Especially black folks, probably never. I was waiting for them at the end of the game, though, to play They Not Like Us, and I didn't hear it. I was a little sad, but I was like,
I mean, look, I'm Dodger blue all day, and Angelino in that sense, but I think Kendrick has made his point.
yes,
I think the
so.
West Coast has made our point. Y'all really need to stop downplaying us. I get that, but now that rap music is off the charts for the first time in something like 40 years, we may be looking for that next Drake album to drop so we can get back on the charts. I don't know. I'm just saying. Miles, did you watch the game?
I did not. I got to catch the highlights of it, of
Yeah,
course. But
yeah.
no, it was a great comeback win. That's a great team we watching, y'all. We watching greatness in our presence right now, y'all. So shout out to the LA Dodgers. Shout out Mookie Betts. Shout out Shohei Ohtani, man, coming through and giving the Dodgers their money's worth. Because $700 million, that you got to produce something for $700 million.
Well, yeah, and they're producing top tier excitement. I mean, you to be down like that and then come back and win on the road. It's everything we like to brag about in LA.
It is. It is. And it was, I mean, it was a great, sportsmen, like, I'm not really into sports like that. But when it comes to big games like this, I absolutely watch. And now that I have 3 boys and they're in sports, I gotta learn the game, right? And so watching and seeing the speed at which they're throwing this ball, I was like clocking in at over 100 miles per hour for from the pitcher to the hitters, and then seeing them have bases loaded, right? The Toronto Blue Jays had bases loaded, and the comeback from the Dodgers in the 9th inning, I was like, are you kidding me? The last time I watched a game like that was when I was in school, and I had a teacher who was really into baseball, and she had us learning about math through baseball.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I didn't know anything about baseball then, and I still don't know anything about baseball now. But I picked the Toronto Blue Jays as my team, and it was just kind of an interesting thing to see, to hear that was like whatever, almost 30 years ago. I think the last time that they were in the game. So
Yeah, Paul in the YouTube chat says run that song into the ground. He wanted to hear it too, I guess. And Carl Tucker wants to know who's paying for the parade. It looks like a test on traffic and pedestrians. And they're complaining about our volume on YouTube, Miles. They say you can't hear me and LaMikia. You can only hear you. So I don't know how to fix it, but I'm pretty sure Miles does. But yeah, I mean, I love the parade. I love the festivities. We need something fun. And we are paying for the parade. I'm sure the Dodgers kick in, but as far as police overtime and all that, the city does. I mean, there's a lot of revenue and things, good imaging that comes to a city when they're world champions at something.
absolutely. And I think that, last time I was on here with you, Dominique, we were talking about the Olympics and what's going on with that. And I feel like, when our team wins, any of our teams win here, it just gives the mayor more clout for supporting, like, hey, we need everybody out here supporting these teams. Get out here and support the Olympics, so on and so forth. I'm not going to be surprised if we hear more of that today at the parade. So
Yeah, it's also good for LA as far as being a sports or Southern California as being a sports hub, because we do have the Super Bowl, the All-Star Game, the World Cup, and the Olympics coming, unless the president decides to strip those things from us, which he could. You know, he hates Cali, even though he loves our money.
Right. And he
Um,
seems to love the Dodgers too. So that's another story.
It's so bizarre. But, you know, really, I mean, you got to wonder, really? You hate California, you hate LA, really? But anyway, the one thing that you and I talked about off the air, and, you know, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, literally or figuratively, but it is true that the Dodgers owner is the CEO of a group that has a huge investment in private prisons, ICE prisons, to be specific. The Geo Group, which is the owner of the prison that actually they detained my brother, the mayor of Newark, for trying to check it and make sure that it was compliant with the city that he is charged with running, with their codes and requirements, which it was not. And they did arrest him and keep him for a day. But this is a group that's profiting off of imprisoning migrants or suspected migrants or American citizens that the Trump administration has in their crosshairs. And, you know, I'm not saying don't celebrate the Dodgers because of that, but I do think that people should let this man know that we're not here for that. We'll love our team, but we don't love that.
I agree 100%. And I think people should wrestle with the complexities of what that means, right? We love our team. We know it's not all of the players. I mean, a couple years, and more than a couple years ago, right, in the first Trump administration, I think it was Mookie who said, I don't want to go meet the president. And then things shifted, you know,
Right.
this year after the Dodgers won last fall. And so I think folks should sit and wrestle with, well, what does this mean? That, you know, there's a complexity here that I can support the team or want to support the team in my city and be excited about these things, but at the same time not support what this particular individual is doing, his ties to the Trump administration, his ties to private prisons, and, you know, so him literally supporting ICE raids and then trying to cover it up as if he wasn't supporting ICE raids right here in the city of LA. So like on the one hand, you want to celebrate like, yay, we need this victory in LA. We need people to get excited about something. And at the same time, you know, just a couple months ago, the Dodgers stadium parking lot was used as a staging area for ICE.
Right.
Like, that's the reality.
And it's something he profits off. It's not just something he believes in. It's something he makes money on, lots of money. And they have a huge stake. I think it's like 30% in the Geo Group. The guy's name is Mark Walter, and he is now the majority owner of the LA Lakers, too.
I didn't realize that he was now the majority owner of the Lakers.
Yeah, they finalized that deal like just a few days ago, I believe. October 30th, they finalized that deal for Mark Walter to become the majority owner of the LA Lakers. The NBA Board of Governors approved his purchase of that controlling stake in the Lakers from the Buss family. And so I think that we, as Angelinos who love our town, and we're supposed to be blue, not just for the Dodgers, but democratically speaking, we can speak up and tell that guy, hey, you know, if you're going to be Mr. LA, divest from that Geo Group crap. He doesn't need that money.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
a multi-billionaire.
Right. And I think there's a responsibility on our part to hold people accountable, right? The same way that when elected officials are not in alignment with or doing the things that we ask, like when we talk about the people's budget and going to Mayor Bass and saying, hey, this is how we want to see our resources used. I think the same thing is true for, you know, like you said, you want to be Mr. LA, you don't align with who we are as a city and what we represent. We had the first ICE raids here and you were supporting them when we were trying to get, you know, Trump to back off. And so we need
Right.
you to fall in line with the rest of us. What that looks like, you know, as an organizer, I think, well, I can tell you as for my now 6-year-old, because my son just turned 6 2 weeks ago, when we talked about this right before the game, and we were talking about, so what do you think we should do? And, you know, he said, I think we need to boycott the owner. Because he knows what a boycott is, right? He knows that history.
Of course
And
he
I-
does. He's
right.
your son.
And I said, well, what does that look like? What does it look like to boycott the owner? And he said, well, we shouldn't buy anything that he sells, or we shouldn't go to anything he owns. And I said, yeah, well, if people want to go to the game, though, right? What does that mean? And so if a 6-year-old can wrestle with those questions, I think we as grown people should be able to wrestle with those questions and come up with solutions together that make sense. Because He's 6, and he's like, yeah, if this person is not in alignment with us or in support of our community, we should not be supportive of them. That's what a boycott is for.
And this is a little call in for the Latino community too. I mean, I know they're not the only ones getting snatched up in ICE raids, but Dodgers got some hardcore Latino fans.
They sure do.
And they need to hold this Mark Richard Walter character accountable. He owns 7 teams: the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Sparks, Motorsports Organization, Andretti Global, the Professional Women's Hockey League, Blue Co., which is a company that owns the Premier League, Chelsea, Ligue 1, RC Strasbourg, and part of the Billie Jean King Cup.
That's why. How is that not like a monopoly, especially in the city, right?
Right.
If you own the women's basketball team, now he owns the Lakers, the Dodgers.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? How
Well,
is that legal?
Well, yeah, that's going to be a question we'll be asking a lot in the next 3 years. But in the meantime, we the people still have power, and we can let this man know. Divest from the Geo Group, at least that. Be a less problematic billionaire. LaMikia Castillo is here. We're taking your calls at 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically Dodger Blue and also unapologetically progressive. Make it work. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
You ready?
You're invited to the KBLA Talk 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair on Saturday, November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Catch at Audubon Middle School in Leimert Park, 4120 11th Avenue. Join us for a day of health, healing, and community connection. There will be health screenings, immunizations, wellness information, a Catch Charter School recruitment fair, plus music and healthy snacks. And it's all free at the KBLA Talk 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair, Saturday, November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Audubon Middle School in Leimert Park, 4120 11th Avenue. Come out and bring the entire family. And if you have not yet checked out our KBLA Health and Wellness Hub, you should at KBLA1580.com. KBLA Talk 1580 thanks Catch Charter School, Prudential, Eastside, Cedars-Sinai, and St. John's Community Health. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that a healthy community is a thriving community.
That's right, baby.
California, this is your moment. The special election is November 4th, and your vote helps decide your future, your community, and your state. Drop your ballot at a secure drop box. Visit an early vote center or mail it. Your participation powers democracy. Every ballot makes a difference. Tell a friend to do the same. Sign up at where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov to track your ballot. Make your voice count. Don't delay. Vote today. A message from the California Secretary of State.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya Kuselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit Tremfya.com.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Okay, so the parade officially starts at 11. TV's going to be down there starting at 10. The whole downtown is kind of like going to be blocked off like a giant like block party, which is pretty cool. They're saying it's going to be 45 minutes. Ha ha ha. The route is 1.7 miles long, and I don't plan to go. I'll watch it on TV, but I have gone to those in the past, and you can say it's 45 minutes, but getting everything set up, getting everyone in, getting everyone out is at least half the day.
Well, most people can't finish a 1.7 mile walk in 45 minutes,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just that alone, if you're going to expecting, hundreds of thousands of people, I don't know how many thousands of people, but lots of people, I don't see that happening.
I mean, the players are on buses, so they're not quite walking, but they're still going slow. It starts at North Broadway and West Temple, and the buses will head west on Temple, and then turn onto Grand and go south. And the players will head west to South Figueroa Street. Okay, well, the parade ends at West 5th Street, and then the Dodgers are going to go back to the stadium. And I guess Dodger fans are already lining up.
I'm not surprised.
Wow.
It's a big day.
That's love right there.
Mm-hmm.
Lining up outside of the Broad, and with their lawn chairs and everything else. It's 6 o'clock. 6:24. So that means they've already been out there for an hour or so.
Right. And you have to imagine, right? The game was on Saturday. Today is Sunday. How many people had to call in sick?
Yeah, there's a really bad flu going on right now. Yep. And LAUSD says all schools remain open, which I think is hilarious that they have to say that.
Right. How many parents are going to take their children? It is a historic activity, so,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, kids at my kid's soccer game on Saturday, it was soccer, but everybody was still wearing Dodgers,
That's funny. And they're saying even the schools along the parade route are open. Well, thanks for letting us know, but here's the thing. That's not going to help.
Right.
And they're saying expect heavy traffic. Duh. Duh. But does that mean people go to Dodger Stadium? They say the players are going to Dodger Stadium. Does that mean people will get to go?
I think some people probably decided that they're not going to walk and they're just going to go straight to Dodger Stadium to wait for the players to get there.
Yeah, that's what I would probably do.
Yeah.
The Superior Courts are closed, by the way.
For
the parade.
Really?
Yeah. So if you had a court date today, you're out of luck.
That is so interesting, but I guess kind of not surprising because that route, North Broadway is where the courts are.
Right.
So
exactly.
So you can't get there.
So Stanley Moss, if you've got court in Riverside, you still got to go, Foamy.
Mm-hmm.
But the Stanley Moss Courthouse is closed. The Clara Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center is closed. And the Superior Court departments at Spring Street and the Archives and Records at Hill Street are all closed. They might as well have gone ahead and closed the schools for a day.
I know.
But okay, I feel for those parents trying to get their kids in and out.
Right.
Today. Oh, yeah, it is. The stadium is open. So the stadium will be open for a fan celebration.
There you go.
So that's probably where a lot of folks will just go. But you need a ticket, and apparently they sold out in an hour.
When did they even put them on sale?
You got to be a hardcore Dodger fan. I'm sure the hardcore ones knew. But here's the thing. People are going to be outside the stadium anyway.
They will.
With no ticket, just celebrating.
Right. So I would say avoid even like Sunset in any area, any of the streets along the route near, Dodger Stadium, because that's also going to be insane.
And the freeway.
Yep, it's true. The 110, the 101, everything over in that area
is going to be Dodger-fied. The Dodger Stadium ticketed celebration, that's what they're calling it, starts at 12:15. We'll see if that happens.
Right.
Approximately 12:15. Yeah, I don't know. Fans must have been watching, or maybe they remember from last year, and they bought them out. They sold out within an hour. Okay, multiple streets and freeway on and off ramps closed. So, yeah.
They don't want people taking over the streets. They know how folks get in LA for a celebration, for a protest, whatever it is. We take over the freeways.
Yeah. Yeah, they're saying hundreds of thousands. You're right. Hundreds of thousands of people. I love a Festive LA. I love a championship, but that's something I'll watch on TV with my home popcorn.
Yeah.
The mayor said 200,000 people went to the parade last year.
Yeah, see, that's not surprising to me. I expect probably more, actually. And at the same time, right, with the ICE raids and Mark's involvement in that and the support of it, who knows? Because as you mentioned before, Dominique, so many of the fans in this city, even despite the history of Chavez Ravine, which is where the Dodger Stadium was built, right, historically Latino community, Dodger Stadium took over, displaced folks using eminent domain. Hello, right?
Racially motivated eminent domain, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Displaced tons of Latinos to build Dodger Stadium.
Right.
Yeah.
And despite all that, right, people still love and support the Dodgers. I think that history has been erased for the most part for so many folks. But what I wanted to say is that I think, you have a lot of Latino folks who love and support the Dodgers. And then at the same time, again, living with the complexities of things, I don't expect ICE to be there, but you just never know. And I think people still have questions. When we were preparing to go to a Halloween, I forgot that was also this weekend, right? We were preparing to go to a Halloween festival at a church on Friday. My 6-year-old said, "Mommy, there are going to be a lot of people there. Do you think ICE will show up?" So even a child, or at least my child, right?
Wow, that's so sad that a 6-year-old has to worry about whether ICE is going to be there. I mean, I get that your kid is more conscious than some because of how they're raised, but still, I think about that all the time. If your kid is white or black or Asian and they're just coming around and scooping up Latino kids, you don't think that impacts your kid?
Absolutely
like
does.
Weird masked men with guns and stuff are coming and snatching kids. Their kid's not going to go, oh, well, that ain't going to happen to me because I'm not an immigrant. They're going to think weird, scary men are snatching people off the streets.
And kids specifically, right? So they do believe. So we've had that conversation with our kids, and our kids are homeschooled. And our children understand that this is a threat to our whole community because of what is happening. So all that to say, when I think about the parade, I wonder how many people, want to be there to celebrate, but then also have this concern like, well, this is a large event with lots of people. Could we be a target?
Yeah, I don't think that would. I'm not saying they won't, but I don't think it would be a good idea for ICE to show. You've seen people in LA blocking ICE. Can you imagine when they're 200 and 300 strong?
Right. Yeah.
Probably not. We got news, traffic, and sports, then more, only right here.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Here's what's trending this hour. The Supreme Court will hear arguments Wednesday on President Trump's emergency tariffs. The case challenges his use of a 1977 law to impose duties without Congress. Trump was asked if he still planned to attend.
I don't think so because I don't want to call a lot of attention to me. It's not about me, it's about our country.
Trump says the tariffs are vital to national security, but cities call it executive overreach. Candace Owens is criticizing President Trump for staying silent on Charlie Kirk's death. She's pushing a conspiracy theory that Israel may be involved and says Trump's tribute post signals the investigation is over. No evidence supports her claims. And Wilt Chamberlain's custom-built supercar, the 1986 Searcher 1, is up for auction. The one-off ride can hit 200 miles per hour and cost $750,000 to build. Bidding at Julian's Auctions runs through November 6th. Get BIN News now, on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The city of Los Angeles is geared up to celebrate the Dodgers for the second straight year as World Series champions. A victory parade in downtown LA this morning will be followed by a rally at Dodger Stadium at 12:15. You must have a ticket to attend. A couple of final notes on the Dodgers. Their .203 batting average in the World Series is the lowest by a winning team in 59 years. The Baltimore Orioles batted only .200 to win the World Series in 1966. The Dodgers were also outscored by Toronto 34-26. Pitching does make a difference. It was a good day for both of LA's NFL teams. The Rams beat New Orleans 34-10. 4 touchdown passes for Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, 2 to Devontae Adams. The Rams are 6-2. The Chargers beat Tennessee 27-20. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert had 250 yards passing, 57 yards rushing, and 2 touchdown passes. The Chargers are 6-3. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
First, they tried to erase our history.
Pentagon removed training material about the Tuskegee Airmen. Arlington National Cemetery removing histories that highlighted black veterans from its website.
Then they tried to erase our jobs.
Black Americans will disproportionately bear the brunt.
Now they think they can erase our votes.
Steal 5 congressional seats, decimating black and brown representation.
Enough is enough. I matter, my rights matter, and our future matters. That's why I'm voting yes on Prop 50. Prop 50 lets us temporarily redraw California congressional maps to counter the election rigging Trump is trying to pull off in Texas and other states. Californians across the state are stepping up and using the power of their vote to stop the madness. So vote yes on Prop 50 by November 4th, because we can't let them erase our history or our future. This ad is paid for by the NAACP and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Donald Trump has all but declared war on California, sending in a National Guard, blocking disaster relief, and cutting funds to our colleges. And now, he and Texas Republicans are trying to rig the next election by stealing congressional seats from black voters in states like Texas.
They want to rig these elections, and they want the power that gerrymandering provides.
Seriously, look it up. But Prop 50 is how we fight back. It gives Californians the power to fight fire with fire and beat Trump at his own game. Prop 50 creates temporary emergency congressional maps that level the playing field and protect the power of black votes. Not just in California, but across the country. Your vote matters, and the whole country is counting on California to lead. So use your vote to protect our power, our history, and our future. Vote yes on Prop 50 by November 4th. Ad paid for by Yes on 50, the Election Rigging Response Act, Governor Newsom's Ballot Measure Committee, Ad Committee's top funders, HMP for Prop 50, and Fund for Policy Reform.
Our communities have been through too much to let our voices be erased now. Prop 50 is how we push back against the rigged maps, the rising costs, and the attacks on our health care and our rights. I'm Senator Lola Smallwood-Cuevas. Join me in voting yes on Prop 50, because we deserve to choose who speaks for us. Ad paid for by California for All of Us, supporting Prop 50. McKenna Ballot Measure Committee. Ad Committee's top funder. Faith votes yes on 50. Sponsored by LA Voice Action and Progressive Era Issues Committee, supporting yes on 50.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Indeed, we are grateful that you are here. If you're celebrating the Dodgers or you're a downtrodden Drake and Blue Jays fan, you're welcome to call us at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I somehow missed this story over the weekend about this guy, Carlos Jimenez. He's a U.S. citizen, and he was shot by ICE officials in Ontario. So apparently he pulled over his car because ICE was doing some kind of action, and he asked them, to wrap it up and leave, because this is the spot where little kids gather after school for the bus. It's a school bus stop. And he said that to them, and then he was driving away, and they shot him from behind. Now, Homeland Security says that he was trying to run over officers by backing up his car. His lawyer says he was trying to get the hell out of there and leave because they were acting threatening towards him. In any case, he was shot in the back and in the shoulder. He lived, but now he is trying to take legal action. But this is apparently the second ICE shooting in Southern California in the past week.
That is so devastating to hear. I'm glad that he's alive.
Yeah.
But just to think of the fact that he was trying to protect children. Again, why is ICE in these areas with children? I don't know what they were doing, if they were trying to detain a child or children. But kudos to him for people are still being brave and standing up, but to have that risk and then to be shot in the back. And of course they lied and said that he was trying to run them over. They're cops. ICE, in my mind, right? ICE cops, they're all the same. And they say that all the time. They use that to cover their butts. And I hope that he is able to get some legal recourse for this and that they don't get away with shooting him in the back. And I hope that his family is able to, get some kind of, excuse me, whatever reparations will look like for them in that situation.
I mean, here's the thing. The guy is a U.S. citizen. He pulls over. Apparently, the feds were pulling over a car, and he just said, look, this is a school bus stop. The kids are about to come here. Mm-hmm. So can you wrap it up? He's trying to protect the children, and he gets shot. But the guy, what makes it even worse, he works at a food bank.
My goodness.
I mean,
he's like practically a saint over here, and ICE is just...
Can it get any worse than that?
Right.
He was on his way to work at the food bank. So I guess the food bank was down one worker. That's crazy.
It is. And ICE ought to be ashamed of themselves. I mean, they just ought to be ashamed in general. But, to shoot a man in the back who came to say, hey, just to let you know, children come here, please wrap up whatever you're doing so that it's not harmful to the kids. I mean, what does that say about ICE, which we already know? They don't care about our communities. They don't care about the children either.
Yeah, that's why he was trying to get the hell out of there. The lawyer says when he told them that about the kids, they pulled out a gun, and then one of them started shaking his pepper spray, and the guy got in his car, reversed, and tried to get the hell out. Now they're saying he tried to run him over with the car. I doubt that. Somehow there's no video. Somehow.
Of course.
Yeah.
Very convenient.
Yeah. Let's go to Dee calling us from Long Beach. Good morning, Dee. You there? Dee from LB. Are you with me? I guess not. Okay. Well, never mind then. Call me back if you want. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. That's the number wherever you are. Have you voted yet?
I did, actually.
All right.
Yes,
Go you.
Yes. We went right after my kids' soccer game. It's very convenient because the voting polls were at the park. And so we took the kids and we talked about Prop 50 with them and why it was important, and we voted.
All right. Good job. Well, I filled out my ballot finally, but I have to go put it in a drop box today.
Let me tell you something, though. For years, we've just filled out the ballot and dropped it in. And then because we were at the park and we saw it, we were like, oh, this will be a nice, civic lesson for the kids. And I don't know when they got these new machines, but oh my gosh, the technology is like out of control. If you haven't been in a while to a voting poll, I would say check them out, because just that experience alone, I felt like ancient because I hadn't seen anything like it before. So recommend that get that experience.
They definitely have upgraded them, and I like to go there. A lot of times I go there because I want to hand my ballot to a poll worker rather than putting it in a county drop box. So, it's definitely worth checking out. They have super high-tech polling machines for people with disabilities, too. Like if you're hard of hearing or you have some kind of other disability, these new voting machines are really very accommodating.
Yes. Well, I found the experience to be quite interesting and exhilarating.
And what did your kids say?
My 3-year-old was actually the one to help me to figure out how to use the machine.
That's right? Hilarious.
He had just watched his dad do it while I was, getting checked in. And then I was like, wait, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, Mommy, you have to do this. And so it was really great to get a lesson from a 3-year-old on how to use a voting machine in LA County.
Yeah. It's not top of mind for a lot of people, but I'm hoping that folks will vote because it is important. I mean, it's a mid term election. It's not even the congressional election. It's only Prop 50. It's kind of boring, but it's really important. And I'm concerned because I think the turnout is low.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that because of this big Dodgers celebration that they'll be encouraging people to get out and vote, though I recognize that goes against the owner's best interests, probably.
Yeah.
But my husband and I were talking about that over the weekend, like, oh, well, when is the Dodgers parade going to be? Is it going to be, it can't be Tuesday because that's election day. Would they do it on Monday so that they can encourage people to get out there and vote, So hopefully they'll get people to go to the polls. That was my thinking.
Yeah, Monday was a better option. It would be a nightmare. Tomorrow would be voter interference. Okay, this is a weird story, but I think it brings up some interesting questions, which is that there is this cat named Kit Kat. This is in San Francisco. It's a neighborhood cat that everybody loved. It was on 16th Street in the Mission District, which is where I grew up when I was in college era. Anyway, the cat was killed by a Waymo driverless taxi.
Oh, no.
Okay, this time it's a cat. Next time it could be a kid.
Right.
When I was at the Hollywood Bowl, I saw those traffic cops that stand out there yelling at the Waymo. The Waymo's not going to listen to you. Waymo, there's no driver there. You can signal all you want. The Waymo going to do what the Waymo going to do.
Right.
Who's culpable? Who's responsible? You know, when a Waymo gets a traffic ticket, does the company pay for it? When a Waymo kills a cat, like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that it is the company that's responsible. And then at the end of the day, I wonder who owns the cat. It's a beloved cat. Is it just a stray cat? Does somebody own that cat?
Apparently, it is a neighborhood cat that was Bodega Cats of Instagram. He had Instagram fame. He was Insta famous.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I guess he was kind of mostly sort of the Randa market. It was mostly their cat, like they fed him and stuff, but he was like a neighborhood cat.
Well, I wonder if whoever had created the Instagram account is going to sue, right? Because if he was Insta famous, then that means that they're losing some revenue off of this cat that they were,
Now the cat was a moneymaker.
Mm-hmm. Potentially. I mean, when you said Insta famous, that's what I thought. These influencers make money off of being Insta famous, and if somebody lost that revenue stream, then there might be a lawsuit against Waymo over killing the cat. But as you said, there was a cat this time. It could be a dog. It could be, like you said, a child.
Yeah.
Why was it not able to detect the cat,
Yeah, well, those Waymos, there's a lot of things they can't detect. I mean, a lot of them slam into walls. Or sometimes I've seen this in San Francisco where they break down and you're stuck behind the doggone thing. There's no one there calling the auto club to tow it away,
right?
Until somehow it signals the company that it's stuck. There's a traffic jam. So I'm not against technology, but I think, these are things we have to work out. You can't just have technology running around killing people's pets and kids and things.
Absolutely not. And I'm not against technology, but you won't see me in no Waymo. You won't catch me in there. I do have some concerns about being in a driverless vehicle. I don't know. Yeah. Especially as a woman, I have concerns.
Yeah, I have concerns too. Like, what if you want to unlock it and you can't? What if you want to? This is the thing that I've heard from security experts, is that if someone's following you and you want to change the navigation and go somewhere else, drive to a safe spot or something, you can't. You're locked into whatever you requested, on the app. You're going to that destination. So it can make you a target for robbers or rapists or whatever, because you don't have the ability to change your destination.
Yeah, no, that's scary. No, that's why you won't catch me in a Waymo.
Yeah, me neither. But the Waymo is just the first wave. I mean, within 5 years, there'll probably be 20 companies like that, and some of them will probably work out some of these problems.
It's true. That's how innovation works.
Yeah, so we might be in a Waymo. It could happen, LaMikia. LaMikia Castillo is here. You're invited in 800-920-1580. Take a Waymo to the Dodger Parade. How about that? KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
First, they tried to erase our history.
Pentagon removed training material about the Tuskegee Airmen. Arlington National Cemetery removing histories that highlighted black veterans from its website.
Then they tried to erase our jobs.
Black Americans will disproportionately bear the brunt.
Now they think they can erase our votes.
Steal 5 congressional seats, decimating black and brown representation.
Enough is enough. I matter, my rights matter, and our future matters. That's why I'm voting yes on Prop 50. Prop 50 lets us temporarily redraw California congressional maps. to counter the election rigging Trump is trying to pull off in Texas and other states. Californians across the state are stepping up and using the power of their vote to stop the madness. So vote yes on Prop 50 by November 4th, because we can't let them erase our history or our future. This ad is paid for by the NAACP and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
If you missed the recent Left Coast Forum, then you really missed out. An insightful presentation from Professor Richard Wolff, a call to action from LA Mayor Karen Bass, an insider's view on Prop 50 and the government shutdown from Congresswoman Sidney Kamlaga-Dove, and as usual, Dr. Cornel West brought down the House with a powerful closing keynote. And many of the plenary sessions were standing room only. Check out our social media posts for photos and video of what you missed at the Left Coast Forum, and make plans to attend one of our upcoming events. Our next Altadena Town Hall is Thursday, November 6th, 4 to 6 p.m. at Victory Bible Church in Pasadena. We're going to interrogate SoCal Edison's settlement fund and see what's really going on with this fire recovery program. And our KBLA Talk 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair is Saturday, November the 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here in Lamert Park at Catch at Audubon Middle School. All the details about these upcoming events can be found at our website, kbla1580.com. So thanks again to all those who supported the Left Coast Forum, and a special thanks to our partners this year. The LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, Partnership for Growth, UTLA, LA Care Health Plan, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and the Liberty Hill Foundation.
Broadcasting live from Lamert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, so the 2 different judges have ruled that the government has to pay SNAP benefits, emergency SNAP benefits, that they have to use those contingency funds and pay people their SNAP benefits, their EBT. The question is when, right? So apparently the Treasury Secretary said there's a process and they have to figure out the process. Read, they don't know what the heck they're doing, but they're saying could be flowing by Wednesday.
It better be flowing by Wednesday, right? November 1st is when people were expecting to get their benefits, and it's going to be the 5th of the month on Wednesday. That means that folks have gone 4 or 5 days without any resources to be able to buy groceries for themselves and their families, and that's just unacceptable.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, we were talking about this off the mic, that the stereotype that people are, sitting around eating bonbons on SNAP is just wrong. Like, most of the people that I know that are on SNAP have jobs.
Right.
At least one job, maybe 2.
Right. And the data, if we could get the data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which we can't right now because they're part of the shutdown because they work for the government, you would see that most folks who are on, who receive SNAP, right, who receive EBT, do have jobs. There's a reason why they're called the working poor, right? Because people are working and they're not making enough money because of unbridled capitalism, where low-income folks shouldn't be low. If you have a job, you should be able to live off of that income, right?
Right. You're working 40 hours plus. Some people have 2 jobs or 3.
Absolutely.
You should be able to feed your family. And that's just not where we are in America right now under predatory capitalism. And the fact of the matter is that, most people in LA especially, you can work 2 full-time minimum wage jobs and barely afford your rent.
Absolutely. And then how are you supposed to be able to buy food if you're trying to keep a roof over your head or your family's head, right?
Not to mention the doggone garbage bills going up and all of the the price of heating your home now, natural gas, whatever. It's just crazy.
It's insane. And so I think that, folks who I've seen a lot of videos and things like that over the weekend where people were making fun of single moms. My mom was a single mom and she had a full-time job and we still had to receive EBT.
Yeah, I mean, we called it food stamps back then.
Right, exactly.
We were on food stamps. I remember trying to hide those bad boys.
The Monopoly money.
I was embarrassed by that because I guess I was a little, snobby little kid, but we always had that. And my mom was always working. It was never that she was sitting around.
Right. My mom wasn't sitting around either. She was absolutely working. She had a full-time job. She braided hair, right? She went to the beauty college right over here in Leimert Park. Like, it was not like she was just chilling and saying, I'm waiting for a check to come in from the government. It's not even a check. It was Monopoly money. The food stamps we got. Yeah. Now they get the little, debit card.
Now
so it's not as embarrassing.
Yeah, we had these whole fake money things
right.
that you had to present to the cashier.
Yeah.
And then they will scrutinize whether your purchase actually, qualifies for SNAP. So these Republicans running around talking about people getting their hair done with SNAP clearly do not know what food stamps are because you cannot go get your hair done or any of the things they're saying people are doing.
Right. And the ones who are in the southern states, right, where you have the highest rates of poverty, it literally doesn't make any sense. Like my sister lives in North Carolina. The servers, people who work in the food industry, which is one of the largest industries in that area, don't even make minimum wage. They literally live off of tips alone. Wow. They don't get minimum wage, right?
That's crazy. Federal minimum wage is only $7.25 an hour.
Right. Exactly.
Ooh, take you an hour to get, a bag of fries. I mean, that's crazy. But I think it's important that people keep, challenging that narrative because this narrative that a bunch of people, and the crazy thing is that more Republicans are poor and living with SNAP. And I said it last week, it's a corporate subsidy because these big corporations like Walmart that pay wages that make people still need SNAP are only possible because of SNAP.
Right. And they encourage people to sign up for SNAP. That's the irony of it. I don't know if Walmart is still doing that. And this is the honest truth. If there was a documentary in the early 2000s called Walmart, The High Cost of Low Prices, and they literally show the packets that Walmart employees receive where they would say, here's how you go and sign up for EBT. What? I'm working full-time at Walmart and I need to sign up for EBT and this is my benefits package from you? It was pretty insane.
Yeah. And they're not the only ones. A lot of these big corporations that don't pay enough, they encourage their employees to get food stamps and other kinds of aid because they know that they're not paying a livable wage.
Right. Meanwhile, those companies are making billions. Yeah. And like you said, it's predatory capitalism.
It's predatory capitalism, and that ends up being a corporate subsidy. We, the people, are paying SNAP benefits for folks with jobs because the corporations are too greedy to pay them enough for their work so that they could live.
Right. And then those corporations go and talk to Donald Trump and say, hey, just cut you don't need to keep those benefits. They're not over there advocating to keep the benefits because if they were, he probably wouldn't be trying to cut them.
Yeah, Carl Tucker says the president says he's now looking at for emergency funding. Yeah, because 2 judges said he has to, and he doesn't have to look. It's already there. It was there. They took the language off the website because they didn't want to give you food.
Right. And on Friday, the president said, my lawyers are saying we don't have to do this. So he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. I'm not trying to.
Is that his mouth?
Right.
I wasn't sure, LaMikia. So Paul says it's a class war, that we're in class war. Do you agree?
So I always feel like it's more complicated than just class, right? I think about intersectionality. And of course, class is a piece of that. But the folks who are impacted always the most are Black folks. And brown folks. And so, yes, there's some class elements to it, but it's not just class. There's race and other aspects that are tied in.
Yeah, I feel like the class aspect is getting louder because we're in this season of oligarchy. We've always had an oligarchy, but now it's so blatant. The man is building a massive ballroom while starving people.
Right.
And so it feels... But I agree. You always have to factor in, race and other things.
Yeah, I mean, even gender, right? When
Yeah,
you think about
gender,
the welfare
sexual
queen, the
orientation.
quote-unquote welfare queen imagery is always who? It's a
Us.
black woman specifically. It's not all women. It's black women. You never hear people talking about men who are on food stamps with their kids. You know what I mean? And which is possible. I'm sure that there are, but it definitely is the intersection of those various identities of which, you know, you and I happen to share many.
Yeah. Carl Tucker also asked, did I see the line at the food bank in Inglewood on Friday? I did not, but I heard about it. And I heard it was way down the block and around the corner.
Right, because people are afraid and they don't know when they're going to get, if or when they're going to get those benefits. And so I really hope that, you know, the government reinstitutes those benefits no later than Wednesday, absolutely. But going 5 days without any kind of certainty about where you're going to, you know, when you're going to be able to get money for food it's scary. It's really scary.
Especially if you got kids.
Right.
And then now, as of tomorrow, we'll be setting a record for the longest government shutdown in history, which the prior one was Trump's first term.
Right.
Yeah. So here we are. And now we're getting to the point where people are starting to feel it with things like SNAP, where people could before say, oh, if you're not a government employee, it doesn't impact you. Actually, no, that's not true anymore.
Right. And last week I heard that Amazon laid off 300,000 people as well. And so when you add all those things together.
Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know the number, but what really I found so offensive about that is some top Amazon executives saying, we didn't lay them off because of money. We laid them off because of culture. So they're trying to say that because there were people in management positions that were stopping the workers from freely applying themselves or something. It just sounded like pure BS. It's not because we need the money. It's because you have a cultural problem that you're not going to have a job.
Yeah, unbelievable. And whatever, right?
Efficiency,
whatever again, it's predatory capitalism is at play big time right now. And when you think about the government shutdown and the folks who are without work and without compensation, SNAP being cut, and then private companies like Amazon, I would not be surprised if we start to see more of those, right? Companies making major layoffs, attributing it to whatever, culture, some of it, you know, finances, whatever the case may be. It's scary times when it comes to, you know, people's economic viability in this country.
Yep. But we always find a way, and we will continue to find a way. LaMikia, thank you so much for coming in. Tell folks how to keep track of you.
It's always an honor to join y'all, and especially when I get to be in the studio with the queen, Dominique herself. You can find me on social media. If you catch me on there, good luck. But you can find me at LaMikia Castillo, and that's on whatever social media platforms.
All right. Thanks so much. We're going to be talking national issues for a little bit. Me and Miles are going to do a version of Mindful Monday. And then Friday Jones will be here to tell us why she's voting no on Prop 50. All that is straight ahead on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Here's what's trending this hour. The Supreme Court will hear arguments Wednesday on President Trump's emergency tariffs. The case challenges his use of a 1970